All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, it's early on a Monday, folks, but there is lots to talk about. Sorry about that hiccup just jumping into the podcast there. All right. Where do we start with all this stuff? And before I jump into everything, don't forget, folks, to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. We've got our first cup of coffee Monday morning. J-Bone, why on earth would you podcast before you're awake? Because there is so much to talk about here, folks. So much to talk about. Number one, all the releases. And I know I don't talk a lot of WWE stuff, but this is kind of, they're free from the WWE. So there's that. So there's a lot of questions about their future. Humble Beast, good morning. Can't see you. What do you mean you can't see me? I'm right here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm watching the feed. Okay, so several releases from the WWE. It's just a picture up. Try refreshing your feed because my feed is coming. It's looking fine here. Let me double check something. Agent says he can see the video. Okay. All right, we're good then. Yeah, just try refreshing your thing. Okay. So, number 1, 4 releases. Okay. Well, technically 5 if you count ACH. Let's talk about ACH for a minute. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because it's been talked about, and honestly, there isn't a whole lot to say, but just in case you haven't heard, he was released last week, and then the big question was, where is he going to show up? He showed up at a Chicago scene? Was it AAW? I believe it was AAW. He was announced for MLW. I don't know if he showed up at the opera tapings that were just filmed before the weekend. So I don't know what was recorded for that. Okay. I don't look at MLW spoilers. But then not even a day later from him being announced from MLW, he quits. And I don't know if the tweet is still up. You know what? Let's just look, shall we? Let's see if we can find that infamous tweet. I know I saw it. Okay, so this is we'll do a little share here. I believe this is a picture of the tweet because I think he took it down. I'm not sure because All right, so his tweet said, I hate pro wrestling. I hate you shitty fans that think you know it all. More importantly, I hate the snakes in the industry. None of y'all would never say anything about me to me, and all y'all could screw yourselves. I'm canceling my shows and I'm quitting pro wrestling. I'm chasing my dream. Chasing my dream was great, but you self-entitled pricks ruin everything. I'm out. So there's that. Agent says here he should have never went social media and that with that and handled it behind closed doors. Yeah, he wasn't afraid to put his stuff out there. I mean, it kind of depends on the individual and the situation. Sometimes you just got to let the public know what's going on if something's not being handled properly. But yeah, I agree. I agree. It all depends. Charm City player Brandon Ace, good morning, says, I can understand how he feels, but at the same time, he should realize you're going to get backlash from the fans on social media. Oh, it's just how it is. Yeah, it is. Totally. I 100% agree. So now we've seen only one other similar instance like this. And that reminds me of it's the same but different. When Rich Swann got let go because of something that happened with his girlfriend, and WWE always wants to save face, and so they cut him loose, and he quit professional wrestling, and then within the next week or so, give or take a few days, whatever it was, he showed up at a WrestleMania indie show. It was one of the WrestleCon shows or whatever it was. I believe it was an Impact Wrestling show. Don't quote me on that. I'm trying to remember all the circumstances. But he got back into wrestling, got hired by Impact Wrestling, and became one of their biggest stars, and is well loved and respected. Now, could ACH, and I discussed this with the guys over at Total Nonstop Impact a little bit within the last couple weeks when all this crap started, said, do you think maybe given time, if he steps away from everything and then comes back within the next year, will he be accepted more? But I tell you what, the footage that I saw of him showing up at the AAW show. I'm pretty sure it was AAW. I'm pretty sure because it looked like the same kind of venue that they run, but a lot of different venues or companies run the same venues in Chicago, from what I've heard. And when he came out, that crowd loved him. They did. He didn't get booed. It was all love. It was absolutely all love. Humble Beast says, well, he isn't the first one. No one said nothing about Moxley going public. Yeah, I mean, Mox didn't. I mean, yeah, it's he discussed everything after the fact in like interviews, and slammed how horrible the creative was and everything. So yeah, it's in that aspect. Yes, he came out and talked about it, but I mean, he wasn't hated or nothing. I think he should have. It should take some time away, but I think chances are he'll go back to New Japan. Interesting. That's an interesting one. He could. Michael Elgin, Big Mike, right? Where is he? Right over here. Big Mike did something similar. Kind of got away from the U.S., went to Japan for a while, came back, and look where he is now. He's on top in Impact Wrestling, just kicking ass. He's one of the best guys right now. and he's getting all kinds of love. So yeah, maybe, maybe that's what he's got to do. He's just got to like go away somewhere and then come back, because the guy is talented. I'm not going to deny his talent. It's just he's very, and I've discussed this too, and this is where I'm going to end this. There's a bigger picture here. I'm not saying the guy's psycho. I'm not going to say the guy's whacked. There's a bigger picture here, okay? When you're live on social media and you're there's, come on, that's a sign of something. I'm no doc. I'm not going to diagnose this, but I've seen family members do that, and it's not normal, okay? Hell, I know I got a couple screws loose upstairs, okay? And I just hope whatever the situation is, if he just needs to, get some Xanax or whatever, not that popping pills is the most, is the greatest thing in the world, but hey, if you need meds, you need meds, or maybe smoke a little, chill out, whatever. Do what you got to do, and then come back and get some love from the fans. All right, I've already talked way too much on that. Did WWE burn him out? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we're not privy to that happened. That was, and I'm sure like the T-shirt was like the whole, was like the camel that the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. Who knows? So, all right, enough about ACH. Let's talk about the four big ones here that are in the thumbnail of the video. Something about that first cup, I tell you, it's just awesome. All right, so let's bring, excuse me. Pardon me. Wow. Great way to start. I thought I had this up. Apparently, I did not. Oh, well, that's news too. All right. Wow. So, let's do a little share screen here. Share. Okay. So, yeah, I know people are going to be talking about this too. This breaking news about Batista and NWO being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That's lovely. Okay. So, Luke Harper, Sin Cara, Konnor, and Viktor of the Ascension released, and just real briefly here, WWE has come to terms on the releases of Jonathan Huber, aka Luke Harper, Sin Cara, and Ryan Parmeter, Konnor, and Eric Thompson, Viktor of the Ascension. WWE wishes them well on all their future endeavors. So, there's that. Good morning, Jesse Cole. Glad you could join. I got a taste for a cup of coffee myself. Go get you some Joe. So it's been a while. There's one thing that I saw on social media. Damn, excuse me. Sean Ross Sapp said something to the effect of, wow, when's the last time WWE released like several people at once? I think it was, I'm just going to throw a number out there. I think it was between 5 and 6 years ago. And I even did a video on it. Because they released like 12 people in one day. The list was ridiculous. And it included Drew McIntyre, among many others. I mean, they really clean house. They really cleaned house. So yeah, it's been a while since we had a larger group like this, but they're also bringing in a ton of, you know, new superstars. Their NXT, their PC is just loaded. I mean, I can't even imagine how many hundreds of people they got. They probably got them on a schedule and don't have them going in like every single day. Because how do you filter through hundreds of people? You know, or maybe my guess on the numbers is wrong, but man, I can't imagine how many people they got crammed in there. Long time coming for all of them, especially the Ascension. Yes. Let's start with the Ascension. I've talked very positively about the Ascension. Um, Now, there hasn't been much to talk about recently. In fact, it's one of the tag teams I have up on my wall somewhere. Where is it? It's not in camera, but I know I've got them somewhere around here. Is it over here? Anyways, I know I have the Ascension. Um, and I was all excited too when the figures came out because I was a big fan. When they were in NXT, and that's why I put that picture of them in the thumbnail because that's the Ascension I loved. Okay. Not that I stopped loving them, but as soon as they hit the main roster, they were made complete jokes of. And I've talked about this too several times, but we'll bring it up again for conversation's sake. Pissed me off because they put them in the pseudo Road Warriors gear, put the paint on them, and put them out there. And as soon as they hit the public, instead of making them something to be feared, JBL shit on them. Straight up shit on them. Oh, they look like Road Warrior ripoffs. Or whatever he said. How do you do that? And it's just one of the many examples of WWE showing that they don't give a shit about tag teams in their company over the last several years. Those guys in NXT over the course of, we'll just say a year, while they were building NXT and bringing in more people, ran all over the tag team division. And for a while, they were the only tag team. They were tag champs, and they had them running over jobbers because they didn't have any other tag teams. I'd have to do some serious research and see who was all around back then. I don't remember. That was an early class. That goes back pre-Shield. 2011, 2012. So you're creeping up on almost the 10-year mark. Not quite. But yeah, that's a while ago. And they started out with the the vampire gimmick. Or just the dark brood type gimmick, whatever. And they were perched on a top of a building. And those were fun, man. Those were so fun. And they were well done too. And they were simple, And then they brought them to the main roster and they crapped all over them. And I don't think they even became tag champs. I could be wrong. I'd have to look. It's just sad what they did to them. And man, that's honestly, if you're a singles competitor, you can go anywhere. But if you're a tag team, there's a bigger picture to it, in my opinion. Number one, are they going to stay a tag team? I would love to see Konnor and Viktor stay a tag team and get a new name, you know, a facelift, if you will. You know, they're not gonna do the Road Warrior gimmick anymore. I guarantee you. I mean, I could be wrong. Because that's how people knew them. But man, if you strip them down and just throw like black leather on them and make them look like the Lost Boys or whatever, you know, black trench coats, black shirt, black pants. Boom. Simple, heel, maybe a little bit of makeup. You know, like the Ozzy, you know, ring around what is that? The guy like the guy liner, whatever. You know, a little something, you know. That's what I would do. And be sexy. Oh no, stop. No, that would be all pleather. No. Oh, Jiminy Christmas. It's too early. This is why I don't do this early in the morning. And hey, don't forget to smash that like button and smash that sub button, folks. Thanks for joining this morning. I tell you what, I know, you know, brain had a stroke. I would love to see Konnor and Viktor in the WWE. I mean, in Impact Wrestling. Jesus, wow. I would love to see them in Impact Wrestling because it would be a great way to help build this roster going into 2020. You know, now that they're on TV and they have the opportunity to feature their content 2 hours every week, bring in some new stars. I didn't watch the event yet. It's on my to-do list. Trust me, folks. I got a lot on my plate for this week. A lot of stuff coming up. And a lot of stuff with the TNI guys, too. In fact, the classic stuff is going to start tonight. I'm going to watch it sometime today. So watch for that later tonight. Impact Wrestling could, and we'll probably talk about this maybe a little bit tonight live. I mean, maybe not. We're going to do mostly the classic stuff. We might do a separate video talking about this, similar stuff. They need some new tag teams, I think. And not a ton, just one or two, just to keep it fresh going into the new year, you know, get some fresh faces. They just hired Larry D, so congrats to him, and I'll be talking more about that when I review No Surrender. I would love to see like the Deaners or the Daisy Hit Squad against Konnor and Viktor. I don't know what the hell you call them. Like I can't wait to see like number one where they're going to show up and who's going to call them what. Okay, and it's I'm sure they've been planning this for a while as far as what they would do and what the plan is. Now, and I don't know what their contract situation is. I mean, I know they're done. I know they're released. Not everybody takes that 3-month window to, number one, get paid for the next 3 months, which will get them through Christmas, which is actually nice. But then you can't appear anywhere for the 3 months, anywhere on TV or whatever. You can do indies. And I know that Impact Wrestling has a show coming up soon in a month, give or take a little bit, hard to kill. Final battle for Ring of Honor is coming up this next weekend. that could be something. Marty Scurll put out a picture of him and Luke Harper together. So, and he's like, Villain Enterprises. So that got people talking about, ooh, Luke Harper could go back to Ring of Honor. Or I shouldn't say back to Ring of Honor. I don't know if he was ever there. I'm not sure. I know I saw him. Where did I see him? I saw him live. Oh, when I saw the Dragon Gate show come to Milwaukee, oh my goodness, it's almost 10 years ago now. Daniel Bryan versus John Moxley. And the rest of the card is really freaking fuzzy. Jimmy Jacobs was on the show. I remember that. But Brody Lee, I couldn't think of his indie name. Brody Lee was there, and there was some kind of like, I don't know if it was like a Royal Rumble type match or Battle Royal, whatever it was. Brody Lee was a part of that, and I think he won. So that was my introduction to him. I was like, holy cow, this guy's huge. The guy's a monster. Incredibly athletic. He's big like Fulton. How did I stray into Luke Harper? Whatever. We're talking about all of them. I could honestly picture Luke Harper going anywhere. Honestly, New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, MLW. MLW is always hiring and letting go people. You know, they had ACH for a cup of coffee. Not even. I think ACH smelled the cup of coffee, set it down, left. I don't know. Speaking of coffee, oof, and it's percolating over there. Let's jump in the chat real quick. Brandon Ace is sad because WWE doesn't take tag team wrestling seriously. It's amazing that companies like Impact and AEW take it more seriously in a billion-dollar wrestling organization. Yeah, it's just, because they focus on wrestling and WWE does not focus on the wrestling. It's all character build and god-awful storylines. This is why the indies are better. Absolutely. I hated the WWE and the Ascension had the Ascension do the comedy stuff. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I don't remember all the stuff they did, but yeah, I guess they did do some comedy stuff. I'd go to Impact or another indie company if I were them. Yeah. Because it's not rocket science to do with these guys. They're big, they're badass. Could Impact bring in the Ascension and have them take the titles off the North? Oh. I think that's what a lot of people would assume they would do, like immediately. I don't know. Because at Hard to Kill, there's some like open. I forget what. You know what? I'm going to look because I forget. ImpactWrestling.com. Let's jump into news. I don't remember. Okay, so ODB got added to the card. Hard to Kill, Tessa versus Sammy, Ace versus Trey. I know that the North is facing someone. I think it's like a scramble or something. They're doing something. So, yeah, I mean, they could. But it all depends on if they do the 3-month contract. The was that the 90-day no compete clause, the infamous no compete clause. It could be. So, I don't know. But nonetheless, what's funny is Konnor, I believe, is an ordained minister. So the guy could, start his own church if he wanted to. Um, but let's not forget Sin Cara. And this is an interesting one because they did the name Sin Cara. The original Sin Cara, just to remind you folks, got let go by the WWE. He went back to Mexico, AAA, CMLL, whatever, one or both. But then he wasn't called Sin Cara. He was called, I believe he was like Mystico. I don't know if he still is. I'm not sure. But he went back down to Mexico. Okay. WWE still had the rights to Sin Cara and they wanted to capitalize it. So they decided to stick Hunico, which is why I stuck Hunico in the thumbnail of this, because that's the way I enjoyed him the most in the WWE. And I know that goes back. I don't think a lot of people remember Hunico. They remember the Sin Cara guy more. Yeah, I got a couple brain cells left. Not many, but I got a couple. Hunico, I believe, what do we want to call him? Sin Cara. I believe I read something about he joined or was thinking about joining Combates Combate Americas, the MMA company that Alberto El Patron is a part of. They just had the fight over the weekend. I believe he walked with him down to the ring. I'm not going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure he showed up somewhere and then told the public that he got his release, and that's how people found out. So yeah, I have absolutely no doubt that he's going to continue doing something south of the border, go back to Mexico, wrestle down there. But I mean, there's still several that are, touring around the US. Like oh gosh, was it Warrior Wrestling out of Chi-Town? Has got a whole slew of Mexican wrestlers coming up. I think Aerostar, Taurus, among many others. Ray Horace has been all over lately, and he was also part of Lucha Underground, the now defunct, unfortunately, Lucha Underground. Yeah, so I mean, he could. His options are plentiful. I have no doubt some company, wrestling or MMA, whatever he wants with his future, because I think he's healthy now, as far as I know, which is good. Because you don't want to hear about a company letting someone go while they're injured. Which we've heard about that recently with Ring of Honor and the whole Kelly Klein deal, and that's just no bueno. No bueno. Let's jump back in the chat here real quick. The match between Larry D and Michael Elgin was pretty damn good, told a great story. I am really looking forward to that one. Because you know what? Larry D and, oh man, who did he face in Chi-Town when I was down there for Bound for Glory weekend? Oh, Ace Romero. That was a hell of a match between two big guys. And I've said this before, but I'll repeat it now for the sake of conversation. When Larry was leaving the building at All Glory and he walked past me, and man, he had a look on his face. He really did. He had a look on his face like he was like a little broken, a little sad. He was down. And as he passed, I put my hand on his shoulder and I was like, hey, and I just took just a couple minutes of his time and shook his hand, told him I really enjoyed his match, got a picture with him. And I said, hey, next time you're going to get that contract. He did. I'm not going to call myself psychic, but it was only a matter of time. So yeah, I'm really happy for him because it's funny about Impact Wrestling. It's like the land of misfits. There's a little bit of everything, Impact Wrestling might not have the prettiest roster, but damn, they got one of the best hardworking rosters in professional wrestling. Like Larry D is just a beast. And I hope that he and Ace can have another crushing match like they did All Glory in front of a bigger audience. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that makes me happy. It really makes me happy that we didn't have to wait too long for that, because I really felt like one or both were getting signed Bound for Glory weekend, and it wasn't too long later that we got both of them signed. So congrats to Larry D. That's awesome. I'm telling you, 20, if you thought 2019, we're wrapping up 2019 pretty quickly. The weeks are rapidly coming to the end of the year now. If you thought 2019 was nuts, wait till 2020. Just wait. Man, 2020 is going to tell 2019, hold my beer. And I said the same thing about 2019 and 2018. So, yeah, and I don't say I told you so a lot, but I told you so. I keep it pretty humble on here, but I'll tell you that much. So yeah, Sin Cara could do anything. He really could. And honestly, as far as, I mean, yeah, the big thing that people say, oh, they're just automatically going to go to AEW. I don't know. I mean, AEW is hiring a lot of new people constantly. They've been hiring a lot of new women. They just signed a Big Swole and Chris, what's her name? Chris Statlander. Bright young talents, kicking ass, tremendous talents that we've seen the last few weeks. And so yeah, and I don't know where all these people are going to show up. What probably needs them the most is Ring of Honor. Honestly, they need something, and I've seen this a billion times too. People saying, "Oh, TNA should just buy Ring of Honor," or Impact Wrestling should just buy Ring of Honor. But that's up to Ascension. I don't think Impact could just buy him. But I do want to see a bigger and better stage in general for everyone involved in Ring of Honor. I used to watch them on a regular basis, and I just don't have the time anymore. J Bone Stradamus. Oh, damn, that's funny. Do you think they will make Larry D and AC a tag team? Oh, that's interesting. A couple of big guys. Oof. Maybe. Because they've got a lot of single stars. Who knows? That's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Very underrated roster at Impact. Yes, it is. It really is. Hey, J-Bone NWO is going in the Hall of Fame. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm happy for him. I think it kind of was an assumption because Hogan's from the area. Was it Miami? I think WrestleMania this next year is going to be in Miami, and Hogan just had another major surgery. I'm sure he wants to have one last something. You know, we're probably gonna, if the NWO is going in, we're probably gonna see a DX versus NWO. Okay, we're gonna see something like that. Am I excited about that? Look, I love the NWO. Okay, I loved Holland Nash. I'm happy for him. So, and X Pac, and Hogan, they're all already in the Hall of Fame, so they're getting another ring. But I'm a little more excited for Batista. And he's publicly said, I'm done with wrestling. A lot of people were wondering, is he going to be really done with wrestling after this last WrestleMania? And he was done. He retired. So they're putting him in the Hall of Fame. So I don't know exactly who's going to headline what's, probably the NWO. But it's interesting that they're already getting people hyped up for next year's Hall of Fame. Where they're going to have everybody announced by the Royal Rumble. But who knows? Usually it's like, lately it's been like over the course of the last month and a half that people have been getting announced for the Hall of Fame. And I don't watch a lot of WWE stuff lately. You guys know that. I'm still happy for them, though, if they go into Hall of Fame. It's usually a pretty good ceremony. I know the last couple years they've had some hiccups with presentation and how they've done stuff, and Bret Hart got attacked and all that kind of crap. So yeah, there's not that was funny. I'm just saying. J-Bone left about Bret Hart being attacked. What an asshole! No, it's just laughing in general that they've had some hiccups. So, excuse me. We haven't seen AC since the paid pay-per-view. Yeah, well, he showed up this last weekend. He was in a match. He was in some kind of match. And honestly, he was probably pretty banged up after that fall he took at Bound for Glory. I mean, that was wicked. That was like, I was on the other side of the arena when that happened, and I legit thought he died. Okay, that made me jump out of my seat, and I was one of the few times in my life where I was at an event and was legit scared for the guy. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him a little time off after that, because damn. Not everybody can just bounce back from something like that. Oh shit. Oh, let's see what else is going on here. Chamber, why did Cage versus Elgin remind me of young Hogan versus? Oh, I don't know, man. I'd have to go back and look at that match. Oh wait, I don't have my network anymore. I don't know, man. It's just two big guys going at it. I think the athleticism of Elgin and Cage would have shined through more in that match versus the match between Hogan and Warrior. But, it's a size thing. I think that's about the only comparison, honestly. Think about it more. WWE releases coming. LOL. If WWE keeps going this way, Raw and SmackDown roster won't be packed. Oh, they'll still be packed. They'll load it up with. Dude, they got so many people down in Florida they could do stuff with, and some people have refused coming up to the main roster. We've seen that in the news too. Kane could be Hall of Fame 2020 will be awesome. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be in. I mean, he still makes his little appearances here and there, or gets shoved over to Saudi for crown, whatever. Normally the Hall of Fame is announced after the first of the year. Yeah, so this is kind of surprising that they're doing this, and I think they're I think they're trying to maybe like put a little shine and take the shine off of the releases and throw something else out there like, hey, look at this over here. I think that might be part of it. So, okay, people are talking about it, what a way to start the week. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see who shows up where. Let me know in the comments below if you're watching this after the fact, excuse me. Where do you want to see Luke Harper go? Do you want to see him go to New Japan? Do you want to see him show up in AEW? Maybe get a fresh start in Ring of Honor, Impact? Lots of options out there. Are Konnor and Viktor going to stay a tag team? That's the biggest question. Are they going to stay a tag team and hit the indies? Are they going to, I see some people think they're going to split up and do solo runs. Who knows? Sin Cara, probably go back to Mexico, but you never know. So yeah, let me know in the comments below where you think they're going to show up. And yeah, this is where we're going to wrap this up. Hope you smash the rest of your week. I'm going to be doing my best to go live later tonight with either both guys or Trent, someone. We're going to start the classic content this week on the Total Nonstop Impact original channel, not the lounge. The Total Nonstop Impact channel. Look it up. You'll find it. And we'll be starting some classic content. And I'm really excited about that because Trent watched all those live back in the day, had them all on VHS, DVD, whatever. And I've never seen them. So from someone who watched them live almost 20 years ago to someone like me who's watching them for the first time, it's going to be interesting bouncing those opinions off of each other and what happened and whatnot. So I'm really excited for that. It's something that's been in the works for quite a while, for the last several months. So join us for that later tonight. I am going to be watching No Surrender and reviewing that along with the Motown show. I don't know exactly when. I'm not going to throw times out there because I got a little more free time in the week now, in mornings and whenever. But we'll see. It's on the to-do list, so trust me. So Andre Corbeil, what is up? A couple more comments here before we get out of here. Congratulations to the NWO and Batista for being the latest Hall of Fame inductees. Yes, absolutely. Hunico to AEW and team with the Proud and Powerful. Interesting. If he's Hunico, is he going to be under the mask or, I don't know. Interesting. I think Harper will go to Impact, even though AEW needs some bigger bodies. He could. Heavy J, Harper could always go to MLW or NWA. Don't count them out. I would love to see a team like the Ascension go to NWA. Mac McCall, 6:04 a.m. here in Hawaii. Good morning. Joining me, people from around the world. Absolutely tremendous. Good morning. Wait, how many members of the NWA are going in? Virgil's going to be next. All 75 members of the NWA. Virgil's going to bring the meat sauce for the weekend. He's going to be outside banging on the door. Let me in. Oh, my God. And that's where we're going to wrap this up, folks. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Smash that sub button. And Shit. Ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content, oh my goodness, hits yo screen. We're out of here, folks. Have a good rest of your day and week. We'll see you later tonight.